Now we're going to talk about subtracting mixed numbers. There are three ways to subtract mixed numbers. The first way is to find common denominators. So, for example, if I had 5 and 5 over 6, and I wanted to subtract from that 1 and 1/3, I would have to find a common denominator between 6 and 3. To find those, you have to find your least common denominator or your least common multiple. So I'm going to make a list. I'm going to come over here and make a list and write all the factors of 3. Well, the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, and 12. Okay, I'm going to list the first 4 multiples of 6. That would be 6, 12, 18, and 24. I look at these set of multiples and say, okay, what is the smallest one they have in common? And that would be 6. So my common denominator has to be 6. So I'm going to start my steps over. And first thing I'm going to do is write it vertically. So I have 5 and 5 over 6. And I'm going to subtract 1 and 1 over 3. Okay. I don't need to do anything to the first one to change it because that already has 6 as a denominator. So I have 5 and 5 over 6. When I go to change the bottom, I have to think about what number I multiply 3 by to get 6. And that is obviously the number 2. So I'm going to multiply my denominator. And remember, whatever I do to my denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So I'm going to multiply them both by 2. Now that I've done that, I can say, all right, my new mixed number is 1 and 2 6. Now that the denominators match, I can go ahead and subtract. 5 minus 1 is 4, and 5 minus 2 is 3. The last thing I want to do is make sure I reduce my fractions or have them in simplest form. I see that 3 and 6 share a common factor, which is 3. So I'm going to reduce my fraction, and that is going to be 4 and 1 over 2. When we reduce fractions, let me just add, that means we're dividing by the same factor, both numerator and the denominator. And when we did that, that's how we got 1 and 2. That's how you subtract fractions using common factors, or excuse me, these common denominators.